know what, enough is enough. You have built your name for so far. You can't now let it drop with this.
Tell me, how do you deal with your bad days when you don't feel like coming to work, or you won't feel that?
You're just in a new house, new place.
Yeah.
And then you don't have time to sort of settle there because this is going for a toss. Especially when I was in college, I was a very timid, shy person who couldn't speak at all.
Entrepreneurship is very difficult, and owning a business with 2 kids is not easy.
And if I'm on 10% energy, the other person probably will be in 60% and they'll push me.
That's a very thoughtful shift, right? Because the first founding team who believed in Ananya, in building something from scratch, because you don't have a brand name, you don't have a lot of exposure in the market. And hi everyone, joining us today on Why with AR is Ananya Joyce, the founder and architect of Joyce Design House. Ananya has earned a reputation for curating spaces that are just not beautiful in photos, but are truly functional and human-centered. She's known for transforming compact urban spaces into intentional and efficient designs. One such standout project was a 980 square foot boho house, which was featured in the Architecture Digest of India for her smart, space-saving and efficient designs. The heart of her work sits on a simple belief that design should serve people first. And I'm super excited to uncover her why and her design philosophy and why she started Joyce Design House. So let's jump into the conversation. Let's start off with your journey, right? How did you get into architecture? Because like we were discussing, you have not inherited this profession, right? You're the first architect in your family. And what made you choose architecture?
So when I started looking for professions out there, I think my parents really helped me with this journey. I knew I wanted something creative, but I think about 10 years ago, creative professions were still not chosen as much, not popularly known. People would probably say, okay, do fashion design or architecture, but interior design wasn't even spoken of.
Right.
And I was hell-bent upon fashion design just because it sounded so cool. I didn't know what really went into it. And my parents sort of reached out to a lot of their friends and then friends of friends who have done either architecture or interiors or fashion design or even fine arts, right? Chitrakala Parishad.
Yeah.
And they reached out to these people and made me talk to them and get an insight of what is what. We did go to a lot of these fine art colleges as well to see how what kind of courses are there, what kind of jobs we get.
Okay.
I was really trying for NIFT and I'd got a really good rank, but at the very end moment, after speaking to a couple of fashion designers, I realized it's a very tough journey.
Right.
And then just as a fluke, I had also written NATA, which is for architecture. And
okay.
surprisingly, because I'd done really well in NIFT exam, because I prepared so well, this, again, I outdid the exam. Because I did so well, my parents were like, okay, this is it. You have to probably
choose
give
architecture.
this a shot. But I very consciously chose it. At the time, I didn't know what exactly I was getting into. But I'm glad I did, because from my first year, I think I absolutely loved the kind of education that is there in architecture, the kind of courses.
Right.
Very interactive, very creative. It's not just a classroom where you just
it's not just theory.
Yeah, definitely. And it's so interesting, the whole course. So anybody else who used to do my friends engineering, BCom, BBA, they would see me enjoying. Absolutely. Yeah. Of course, there were a lot of sleepless nights and stuff. But then I think not just me, everybody who sort of attended college with me definitely enjoyed more than other conventional courses, I would say.
So I think architecture gives you a very unique POV of the world, right?
Yes.
So what changed in your perspective when you started learning architecture?
Noticing things, observing.
Eye for detail.
Yes. And suddenly now, I'm sure even you can relate, whenever you go to a restaurant or any place, you will suddenly notice what is the kind of flooring they've done, what kind of
Lighting,
yeah,
furniture.
what texture paint. Oh, I'm also calculating how much they've spent on this place,
Yeah.
doing what. Now I can do that. Back then, I would just look at the details, and suddenly I'm thinking, oh my God, this is so complicated. How did they even come up with this? Because I'd not even learnt anything. But that observation skill, I think, gets picked up in this course.
It's like every space you walk into is like a new learning for
Correct.
you. You
Yeah.
become more curious
Yeah.
as you walk into different space. You're more observant of the
True.
present space.
True.
Yeah.
A normal person probably would not think about the design elements of a space.
True.
They would not give a thought about who the designer is. But now that I'm a designer, I will always think about, whoa, what were they thinking when they designed this? This is so cool, or this is so ridiculous, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But you are sort of
Consciously thinking about
Yeah,
it.
all
Your
the time.
lens is very different.
Changed.
Once you graduated from architecture, you just didn't start Joy's Design House, right? You went through a lot of experiences yourself. Could you talk about what that experience taught you and what inspired you to start your own venture?
So when I started, so I'm not a first gen entrepreneur because my parents are first gen entrepreneurs in my
Okay.
house. So I constantly saw how difficult it is, but also very rewarding. That adrenaline rush that you get.
Yeah.
I saw that firsthand. And that sort of made me feel like this is doable. It's not something it's unimaginable. But when I started, my intention was not to do business. I just started, I completed my course and I looked for jobs.
Okay.
And to my surprise, the salary that was offered, a lot of people don't talk about the numbers, and I think they should.
Yes.
Because that gives people a reality check into what
Yeah.
they're getting into. The salary I was offered was 13,500 by a very big MNC sort of a company. And then I sort of went back and reached out to a couple of my seniors and people who had graduated with rank from
Yeah.
architecture college were still being paid 10
Very
to
less, yeah.
13K. And it's practically not possible. And I just calculated my petrol expense, and that was going away for half the salary. And then it just didn't. Then I calculated my food, the numbers didn't add up. So then I was very disappointed. I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to go for a job with such a low pay because then I'm not going to give my 100%. I
course.
knew I won't be happy with what I'm doing. Then I started at Live Space. So that wasn't a full-time job. That was like a design partner wherein you only get paid if you close. It was a gamble. It was a risk that, but I was willing to take at that point of time because I had nothing to lose. Anyways, if this doesn't work, I'll go back to 13K, which is not a big number.
Yeah.
So that was, I think, my motivation factor. I'm glad I did that because once I started, first month I made some 20K something. And then next month onwards, above 60K easily I was making. Today's day and age, you can't make that in the same company because like the structure has changed. Back then, these companies were just booming. They were just getting their funding and they were becoming big.
Yeah.
So the structure was different. Luckily, the timing was right for me.
Timing was right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got a taste of sales. I think that's where I started. That's where the seeds of wanting to start my own thing.
Own venture.
Yeah, started. Eventually, I also started because I started getting a lot of projects and that seemed like an obvious next choice.
Right.
Had I started a company and then went to search for clients, probably I couldn't have managed that. So I already had clients and then somewhere I had to start taking them up, and then it was too much for me. Then I just hired one employee. There was no name. There was no Joe's Design House at that time.
It was just Ananya.
Yes. And no invoice. It was just like a Word
Excel.
document.
Yeah.
With no name, nothing. It was just like a
Customer
letter.
name and
Yeah, absolutely. Then it was too much for me. So then I hired one employee as a remote person designer who could help me out. She would do just some sort of drawings and presentations, and I could take up more. Then at some point it felt like I need an office space. This is not enough. And then one employee from a remote place can't do much.
Yeah.
Then I started to realize I can't take all these meetings. There are way too many clients, way too many meetings, so many selections. I had to be at the site. That's when my now husband, back then we were still not married, he said, no, you have to open an office. Otherwise, you're just going to be one small freelancer with maybe 1 or 2 employees.
You'll go back to being a designer.
Yes, absolutely. And I think to hire more people, my mother really pushed me. She kept saying, you have to hire. You hire and then you'll figure out a way to make that money. But if you don't hire, you're always going to be comfortable with whatever you're making, which could be any number. Today it could be 20,000, tomorrow it could be 1 lakh. What difference does it make?
There's no structure for your growth.
Absolutely. And nothing to commit me to making payments on month. Because, I mean, I think I should be really grateful to my mother because I was so scared back then. It seemed like too big a step to hire
You stepped
people.
in without anything, no clue.
Correct. No capital investment. You don't need, thankfully for this job, you don't need anything. But once we started putting up an office space, so this space, we'd just taken some of the space, and in one corner there was our office. It was just that small portion, and we were then suddenly we realized there are so many fixed expenses that gets added. You need systems, softwares, internet, all of these things that we wouldn't have thought about and accounted for. So all these days, whatever money would come would all be like whatever I do with it. And now I have to sort of account for these expenses when I'm sending out a quotation.
So you were telling me about how you entered an office and there was a lot of expenses on your head, right? So when did you actually realize, okay, now you're building a life around this, right? It stops being fun at a point of time. Could you take me back to that incident and what changed in your mind at that point?
Yeah, I think there was a very specific point when this happened, and it was when I decided to get married. So my husband and I, we put up the office just a couple of months before we were supposed to get married. We weren't thinking about our wedding at that point of time. We were just focused on our career. We didn't realize, wedding is a big deal as well, with a lot of expenses, a lot of mental and emotional capacity that is needed. We went ahead, we did the office, we did some interiors, and obviously that cost us a lot. And then we didn't take any loans at that point of time. We just put in our savings. 6 months later is our marriage, and suddenly we realize closer to the wedding is, oh my God, we've not done anything for our wedding yet. Thankfully, I especially had a lot of help from my friends and family, all my extended family. They came out, they helped me out. So I did not have to give as much time there. But at least just before the wedding, the 2 weeks is what I took as off. And I had about 10 to 15 projects at the time. I had hired 2 more employees. So the next employee was my accountant who came in. And then 2 more employees. So at this point, we're 4 people. And one of them is a new girl who's just joined, like a week before I'm going for my wedding. So I absolutely couldn't communicate with her, even talk to her, say hello, nothing. Poor girl, she just came in and then she just started sitting and she didn't know what she's doing here. Nobody to guide her, nobody to tell her what is the process, nothing.
After how many months was this exact incident, like after you started the company?
I think a year later.
A year down the lane, you had 4 employees. And you just took 2 weeks off for your wedding.
Wedding, yes. And then I told all my clients, they were very nice. I mean, they were understanding about it. I found a factory, gave them all 10 projects. Another 5 was in design phase, I think. All 10 projects, we went, we saw their factory, we did a recce, we spoke to them. They seemed like nice people. We gave it. we said, hey, listen, we're getting married. We don't have time to do, like, really look into this. We
Right.
trust you on this. 2 weeks later, I come back. Nothing has happened. Like,
Wow.
absolutely nothing. And then they're still telling me, hey, listen, things will happen. Don't worry. So now I've already paid them all the money I've
Right.
got. And I have to, like, take their word for it. And they did seem like nice people, not like people who will just run away with money. Their office was very close by to our office, so it seemed like, okay, they're at arm's length if things go
Yeah.
wrong. 1 month down, 2 months down, almost 3 months later, things are still not moving. And this is when it's suddenly hitting me, okay, maybe this is not, I mean, they might be nice people and they're all over the place. Then another month, I sort of tried to look for ways to fix the situation. After that, I realized, okay, 10 clients, I can't disappoint them. They need to have their homes. And I'm just starting my career. Unless my intention is to run away,
Yeah.
shut shop, then this is not making sense. I have to fix this somehow. Then I sort of, and I think my husband really supported me at that point of time. He was like, you know what, enough is enough. You have built your name for so far. You can't now let it drop with this.
Right.
This can't be like your end point. It has to be like your tipping point to go forward.
Right.
I put in more of my savings, got a lot of other different carpenters, reached out to every carpenter and every designer I knew who's worked with other carpenters, got different teams for each of these homes.
You got 10 new carpenters.
Yeah, ideally. Each carpenter was doing two homes. So
Right.
like 3-4 more teams of different from places.
Yeah.
Put in more money to buy more material because whatever is done is half done.
Right.
It's so difficult to get people halfway
Yeah.
through. They're not, and they will take advantage of your situation.
course.
They know you're desperate at this point of time. Thankfully, I was able to finish all of those. Out of those 10 clients, about 8 clients were amazing people who said, you know what, you stuck to this, so we'll still recommend you to other people. I know you lost money, but that's a risk you took, and
You put in your own money to get the work
I
done.
had to. There was no other way. Either I run or I just finish their house somehow.
Okay, I want to stop you there. This is very rare, right? Like you putting your own money to get somebody else's house done. Yes, you took the responsibility, but what was running in Ananya's mind mentally and emotionally? How did you deal with this?
For me, I felt like a hero. But for the clients, they felt like you did the bare minimum. Because at the end of the day, they came to me and they hired me. And when you start a business, that's the risk you're taking.
Right.
So I think a lot of people, especially people who are in jobs, don't understand the kind of risk
Correct.
that comes with. Not financially, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I was sorted enough with enough savings and I could pull it out somehow with my rotational money, etc. But emotionally, it was too much.
Right.
Way too much. You've just gotten married. You're just in a new house, new place.
Yeah.
And then you don't have time to sort of settle there because this is going for a toss.
Right.
That I think was my point where I realized that, okay, this is too serious. It's not no more just like a small business that I started. And if I don't perform, then there is a lot of consequences.
Right.
That reality check happened at that point of time. And that was also the point when my husband sort of said, hey, listen, we are going to be doing this for the rest of our lives, or at least the next 10 years.
Yeah.
And you can't be doing this again and again. It needs to be a one-time mistake that we learn with. So I'll go ahead and put up a factory so that you don't have to deal with this again and again for every project. One time you can lose money, how many times can you lose? There's no point of doing business if you keep
instead of
losing
enjoying
money.
your honeymoon phase, you are
Yeah.
handling escalations
Definitely.
of 10 customers, like
Yeah.
10 homes were at stake. And you were pretty young doing that. I mean, that takes a lot of grit. And you need a lot of resilience to do that.
Yeah.
So a lot of people when starting out business think that, okay, I'm going to handle this customer. It's one project. I'm going to do this. But then down the lane, once it starts scaling,
Yeah.
is when your true character or
True.
your true resilience comes out, right? And I think it came very early for you.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
Because that sort of tells you, do you want to do this for the rest of your life or you want to quit?
Correct.
At that point, I could still quit.
Right.
Worst case scenario, if I was fed up and I said, no, this is not something I can do, I could quit.
But you
now
didn't.
Probably, yeah. Now probably I can't.
Yeah.
But then it might be a lot more difficult if I have to.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that happened so early on because it felt like one slap on my face saying, this is life, Ananya. You either go ahead or like find a job. And now because that happened then, at any point now when I'm facing difficulties, it feels like,
I'll handle it.
yeah, we'll get through it. It's okay. Nothing feels as bad as that phase.
That phase.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it actually, so this business and so many incidents like this shape you to become a very different person, right? So who was Ananya before Joyce Design House and who's Ananya today?
So before, I think I was, especially when I was in college, I was a very timid, shy person who couldn't speak at all. So whatever, when I started is when I realized whatever design you do doesn't matter if you cannot communicate and explain your thoughts in a clear manner.
Yeah.
I know a lot of really good designers who can't talk, and then there's no impact with your, there's no value addition to
anything that you're designing. Or,
correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Because people are not even aware that you're so good because you can't pitch yourself.
Correct.
So I think, again, I think I should thank my mom for it because just when I stepped out of college is when she started taking me to all the functions and she would put me in that uncomfortable spot and she would pitch me in front of all these random relatives and friends and be like, hey, this is my daughter. She has done architecture. And then she'd be like, okay, you talk. And I'm just like, I've just stepped out of college. Don't do this to me. It's so like embarrassing.
Yeah.
But I got my initial projects from that. From some random function where she did that. And then they said, hey, listen, okay, we'll contact you for our house interiors. And then I got that project.
What was your reaction that time?
I was awestruck. I was absolutely in disbelief because they know I'm a fresher. I'm just out of college.
Right.
They're only giving this chance because my mom put me out there. And I think this is a very important lesson for everybody to learn that you need to put yourself out there if you want work.
Correct.
If people don't even know you exist, then how are you going to even get the chance of getting that work? If you have to compete with 10 other people, they at least need to know you exist.
You need to create opportunities.
Correct.
You can't wait sitting for it, right?
Yeah.
And you took that shot.
Yeah.
And it was because of your mom. So while we're conversing about this, I'm getting a feeling that you come from an entrepreneur family, right? And while your parents are working 24/7, especially back then, entrepreneurship was very difficult. And owning a business with 2 kids is not easy. So what was your childhood bit different from any other kids around you, your friends?
Yes, definitely. I think as kids, me and my brother both were very confused. Do we have money? Do we not have money? Are we rich? Are we poor? Like there's so much confusion, right? Because we went to a school and where everybody were in good, probably government jobs or like very safe sort of jobs.
Right.
So
Predictable jobs.
Predictable, yeah. And their lives were also very planned out.
Yeah.
Yearly one holiday. And after a couple of years, one international holiday. It was sort of like milestones, which it just mapped across their 10 years of their schooling. For us, it was very, very all over the place.
Full chaotic.
Yeah, extremely chaotic. And obviously, even though we couldn't understand a lot of things, my parents spoke about everything that was happening at work, at home.
Okay.
So we were always aware of things.
Okay.
We were aware when escalations would happen. We were aware how they handled the escalation. They would talk openly about it, and I'm glad they did.
So there would be a small meeting at home about the
very
business.
Casually.
Okay.
And I know a lot of people say at dinner table, you talk about work, that's ridiculous. But I'm glad they did because now when so many of the instances that I faced,
right,
I can recollect when it has already happened to them And it just gives me a sense of comfort saying, hey, this is not a big deal. This can be
Right.
dealt with. Maybe not the way they dealt with, or maybe the similar way, that doesn't matter.
Right.
But there is familiarity with escalated situations
Correct.
on a daily basis. And I don't think most people get that kind of
Exposure at such a young age,
at
yes.
all. At least not in South Indian sort
Yeah,
of.
at least not back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Even
for
now,
sure.
I see a lot of people being very particular about work-life balance and not talk about work at home.
Yeah.
While that probably shields the kids from the outside world,
Yeah.
it also gives a sense of fake security, which is not there in business.
Right.
So
of course.
if they're planning to go in that path, this will definitely help.
Yeah.
So I think that helped me a lot. And now, of course, my escalations might be different, but
Yeah.
it is also manageable.
Right. But it's in you right now to.
Correct.
So you have this feeling about yourself that I can handle stuff,
Yeah.
which is very, very important, right? Because as a business owner, there's going to be burnouts and you're not in a happy mood every day. But you have to get up, show up for your people, for your customers. So tell me, how do you deal with your bad days when you don't feel like coming to work, or do you even feel that?
So I need certain days in a month for myself,
Okay.
where I just keep my phone aside. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to talk to anybody at home also. So that one day usually gives me that reset, factory reset happens.
Right.
It is just for me to think. So what happens is every day when we're at work and we're
Yeah.
constantly either firefighting or just running operational stuff, we don't get time to think.
Right.
And when we do go on holidays is when we do get time to think. But what happens is holiday is meant to relax you, not make you think more. But that's the only time when I'm silent, when I'm not bothered by work.
Go with your thoughts.
Yeah, to expand, to think to expand. Otherwise, I think we can keep doing what we're doing, but we won't be able to go bigger.
Right.
So by default, I take that one day when I'm not able to handle anymore. I take that for myself and I don't feel guilty about it anymore. I used to. I used to feel exceptionally guilty saying, oh my God, it's a working day. How can I relax today? Then I just started looking at it in terms of if I were working somewhere, that's how it is, right? You get your one paid leave per month and you take that and you don't feel guilty for taking that leave.
Yeah.
Why can't I do that? Then once I did that mindset shift and now I can take that one day, come back a lot more refreshed, come back with much better energy. I think that also helps my team. If
Right.
I'm always stressed,
Yeah.
they're also stressed.
Yeah. So was there an incident that helped you with this mindset shift?
So when we started our factory, of course, my husband took a lot of that kind of stress. It was insane financial pressure. But obviously, because I'm also equally a part of that ecosystem, I'm also there. So that 1 year, so we took about 8 months to build our factory. So when we built our factory, our loan started when we started building. So 8 months we had loans running and we had expenses to build it,
Right.
get it up and running, operational costs, things that you don't even realize that
Yeah.
you need. And after that 8 months, you don't immediately start running the factory because it's the first
Right.
time you're doing it. You have to figure out a lot of things. You have to invest on inventory again.
Yeah.
Another 4 months to 6 months to sort of just stabilize. So almost a year, it was just expense with no this thing. And touch wood, we had a lot of projects. We had about, and I also, that pushed me to close more projects
Right.
passionately.
Right.
We at any given point of time, we had 25 running projects with a team of, I think, 8 people, which was still going good.
Right.
But we had all these other challenges and we couldn't give time to any of our employees.
Right.
And one of the employees, when she'd worked, the one who had joined
Yeah.
when I got married, so she was leaving after like
A year.
2 years, 1.5 years or something. I couldn't even be there for her send off.
Oh.
And I felt so guilty that, you were part of these milestones of mine.
Yeah.
And I couldn't be there for hers. And that sort of like said enough is enough. I have to sort of take care of myself, my mental health.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I can't show up for these people when they really want me to show up.
Yeah.
And I think since then, slowly, it started shifting.
That's a very thoughtful shift, right? Because the first founding team who believed in Ananya, in building something from scratch, because you don't have a brand name, you don't have a lot of exposure in the market. And I think even now people are very interested in working in reputed firms.
True.
Right? And those first 10-15 people who believe in you while you're building your company, building your dream for you as well, is very important, right?
True.
So that leads me to another curious question is, how do you now choose people, and why do you choose your people in a certain way?
So again, the people who stuck around during our difficult phase are the ones I feel are the most empathetic towards me, because they really saw the struggle behind the success that we have today.
Right.
Of course, we have our own challenges today, but these are all like growing problems. That was survival problem.
Yeah.
When I saw that, that's when I realized we need more people like that who can sort of want to grow with us. Whenever I've hired people who wanted a job just for
the sake of it.
Yeah, sake of it, have really spoiled the ecosystem more than I could imagine.
Right.
But whenever we've hired people who really wanted growth in their life, they've significantly added value to the entire company in every way. So now when we're hiring, very, very consciously, we hire for attitude fitment.
Right.
Make sure that they are something that they'll culturally fit into our company. And other things, knowledge and skill, if they have the basics, we're good. We know that these are the things we can improve upon or
we can train them.
Yes, exactly. But attitude fitment is not something you can train.
Of course. Intent and attitude is very important.
Yeah. So that's my main criteria before hiring. And now, the last couple of months, we've been doing so many interviews because we want to expand our team. We're hiring a lot more people. And it's honestly disappointing to see such poor interviews. So there are people who get angry when you give feedback. It's very sad. I mean, obviously we're not going to be rude about the feedback.
Correct.
But then it's just the fact that they
are not able to take a constructive feedback.
Yeah. I mean that speaks about the character growth that they might have. But thankfully, the people whom we have now, we have an amazing A team. Like, they've really shown growth. With our difficulties, they've sort of gone through their own difficulties, but they've outdone themselves, I feel. So I always tell them, even if you leave this job and go somewhere else, the amount of growth you've got here, you couldn't have got anywhere else. Take that as a badge of honor and then demand your prize, you'll get it.
Yeah.
Because they have been exposed to so much in a short period of time.
Right.
And I think that's a great achievement for the entire team.
That's the fun of joining companies at an early stage, right? Like, it's people look for safety in the initial part of their journey while building their career. But most of the career that is now grown or people that are shining come from a lot of uncomfortable places, incidents that they might have gone through. The period might be short and very difficult, but it's going to give you exponential growth for you future, right? So that's very interesting, right? Because people don't have a purpose. Whether you're a business owner or you're looking to join a company, you need to have your true purpose. You need to know why you're doing what you're doing, right? I think that's what you look in people as well.
Yes.
And that is something can't be developed. It's inherent.
Absolutely. Almost every designer's interview I take, they say, what is your purpose after 5 years? They say, I want to open my own firm, which is fair. I mean, that's okay. Now you give your 100% here,
right,
and learn whatever best you can learn. If you're opening your firm after 5 years, well and good. As long as you're not sort of working here and then doing something else which will affect the growth of my firm, I have no issues at all. And I think that's a great ambition to have. That means you will pick up things faster than others because you want to get somewhere in the next couple of years. I think, having that purpose and ambition itself makes a lot of difference.
Right.
When you look at people's career growth as to where they've come, where they're
Clarity
going.
is very important in the journey that you want to go ahead with. Right. So now you have scaled pretty well, and you might be handling 40 plus projects a month. From handling 10 escalations to now smoothly handling 40 plus projects a month.
I wouldn't say smoothly. We still have our days. So there's still projects where. So I look at the ratio.
Right.
If in 10 projects, if 10 went wrong, that's 100% of like escalations.
Right.
But in 40, if 2 have gone wrong, it is still a good ratio, like an excellent ratio, I would say. Because problems in this profession is unavoidable. It's a chaotic industry.
Yeah.
Completely unorganized.
Yeah.
We're dealing with two complete different segments of people. One is like the clients are very, very well educated.
Right.
They're in good jobs. They expect a certain kind of structure. And then we work with laborers who are very skilled, but they don't have that etiquette or the way of speaking and not the training that a corporate person would have.
Soft skills is not something that they're aware of.
Correct. They might still be a lot more humble, and they have their own kind of soft skills that they have learnt over time, but they're not structured in the way. They can't send a message saying these are the pending works, or they can't send an email, which is acceptable. Their skill is what they're being hired for. So, but we're between these two kinds of extreme ends. And we have to manage communication between the two.
Correct.
Now, if I'm too hoity-toity with my laborers, they're not going to listen to me. Same goes for any of my designers. So if you have to talk to them, you have to talk to them in a certain way. We have to respect them. We have to be kind and nice to them. Only then they will sort of respect us and then give us back that same kind of reciprocation. When we're talking to clients, again, there is a certain kind of etiquette that's required to communicate. So this bridge is something that we're still trying to figure out.
Yeah.
And that's where some of our projects also go wrong. But I think
not intentionally, but
absolutely.
Yeah.
But most reasonable clients who understand what is what do get it.
Yeah.
And they are very forgiving when things like this happen, when they can see the intent, that the mistake wasn't intentional or it was out of control. And I'm really grateful for that.
Such customers are a blessing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think mostly if you're truthful to the customers and if you outrightly tell them this is what's happened, this is this, and apologize if it's genuinely your mistake, they are reasonable.
Yeah.
It's only when we try to beat around the bush.
Of course.
And we don't apologize when it's our mistake, and we try to prove that no, this is what.
I mean, it's silly to do that. People do recognize if something goes wrong, right? Accountability is one of the most important aspect you need to have in a profession, especially like this.
Absolutely.
So now you're in a phase of growth, right? So I want to know, what does growth mean to you?
So growth, initially it only meant numbers. Growth is still numbers. At the end of the day, we're all doing business to be profitable, not to do just lose money or like charity or be in debt forever. That's not the point of doing business, right? So numbers is still very big part of that, but the character growth for me and the entire team is something that I'm really in awe of, and something that I didn't realize comes with this.
Right.
Maybe because I started too young. Probably someone who's worked in a corporate company for a couple of years will know that's how the journey is. But I did not know that. And this was the only thing that I knew. And I jumped into the well, and then I had to figure out how to swim. So now when I see people growing, and their skill set becoming better, and I can significantly see that change, not just in me but in the entire team. It's extremely rewarding.
Right.
The way now people are handling escalations, the way when the client is really panicking about their handover, and things will happen, but you just need to manage the panic.
Right.
There is nothing you have to manage with the handover part of it.
Correct.
How are you dealing with that now? Those are the things that none of us knew how to do it properly when we started off. We all learnt it on the go, and now I think we do it a lot better, which is a very important part of our job,
Right.
managing people's expectations.
Yeah.
And I'm glad. I think that's where I see growth, and not just in numbers. And
In parallel, it's like a professional and a personal growth for
Yes.
you and the team
Yes.
around you. So, why is scaling personally important to you? Because everybody has a different definition of scale, right? Some people are okay with 10 projects a year. Some people want to do 50 projects a year. Some people have different goals in terms of scale. What does scale personally mean to you?
So I spoke to a couple of designers when things were going wrong for me, to understand what are other people doing right, that they are getting. They're in a much peaceful 9 to 5 sort of a
They have a rhythm.
timeline. Yeah, correct. Wherein we are working from morning 9 to evening 9, and we're still not able to finish all our work, and then it's passed on, and there's so much happening, too
Right.
overwhelming. That's when I realized that most people are very comfortable with fewer projects. Of course, quality
Yeah.
is something that they will focus on as well, but that's when I realized my thinking is different. If I do that many projects, I will feel very uncomfortable, in the sense it's not thrilling anymore, it's not fun anymore. So for me, fun is a certain turnover. So then I was like, okay, so that is different. For her, 9 to 5 was her quality of life. She wanted to go back and spend time with her kids. So different people have different things that they want in life. For me, I think more the number of clients that I made an impact to would feel like growth for me.
Right.
And that doesn't mean we're just chasing as many projects as possible, but we want to be able to cater to more
Quality
clients.
impact is what you wanted. You want to reach out to more people
Absolutely.
as possible,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So with scale, I think comes a sense of pressure for you, right? Pressure is something which is less spoken about. It changes you as a person, and it also builds, I believe, it also builds your principles at that point of
Right.
time. So what is Ananya's principles that you follow as the founder, which you don't forego? It's your non-negotiables, irrespective of money, opportunity, or speed.
I also tell this to a lot of our clients when they are not sure if they should go for a young designer or a studio. So when I quit my actual job, and then when I started this full time, there was one very clear intent in my head that I knew that I should never forego upon. That was being ethical in my practice. I understand for bigger companies, there are a lot of other stakeholders, a lot of things involved, and it's not just a designer and some designs and execution. But for me, I think I started from that place,
Right.
wherein a lot of the projects that I was a designer for, so as a designer, you're the only point of contact,
Contact
like
with the
you're the
customer,
face
yeah.
of the company for that person.
Right.
Now, I might be the founder of Joe's Design House, but for the clients who are working with my designers, that designer is the face of Joe's Design House for them, because that's the person they're interacting
Yeah.
with every day. So they trust them, they believe what they say, and they're going to believe that you have their best interest. And a lot of times, even if you have their best interest, if the management is not supportive, you can't give them the best. So I still want to make sure that from day 1 to day 1000, that support should not be taken for granted, where if the client really is in sort of a trouble at any point, from our end, 100% effort has to be put to make sure that we're doing everything in our power to fix it.
Right.
Now, sometimes beyond that also, if it doesn't get fixed, it's nothing that we can do about, but at least my conscience will be clear at the end of the day. So I am not in any way responsible for that not happening the way it should.
Right.
And I think in this industry, like I said, I gave money to someone and they took away, and they're still here. They're still running the business. As a business owner, they don't have certain ethics.
Right.
And it's so common in this industry. I've heard so many people talk about it that, they just ghosted us, took our money and ran away.
Yeah.
We don't want to be that people. So even when escalations have really happened, we have taken our time to fix it and only then ask money, and then only send that paycheck saying, now can you clear this? There have been people who have not cleared it even after that.
Yeah.
But that's their character. But at least I can sleep peacefully at night because of that.
So this is one thing that you would not want to trade at any level of scale.
Absolutely not. I think if your intent is right, even if things go wrong, even if 1 or 2 clients are horrible and they run away and not pay money, your regular business can't get affected by it, won't get affected by it.
Yeah.
And I've seen it. Out of, now when I say 200 projects that I've done, there have also been 1 or 2 clients, the bad apples,
Yeah.
who have not paid.
That's unavoidable in a
Correct.
business.
Yeah. And it didn't affect my business so much like it should have, even though the numbers were huge that they didn't pay. Now we've made our payments 100%. We collect 95% and 5% after this thing. But back then I was still a small firm, and then I had to differentiate between these bigger companies. And so I would say, listen, let's take money in small trenches, like 5%, 10%, 10%. Some 10 milestones I had.
Wow.
To make sure that they trust me that I'm not running away with the money.
Yeah.
At one point I realized at every point now, I'm putting 200% effort to finish this thing.
Right.
On my gut feeling that they will pay me after I'm done with it.
It's a blind trust.
Correct. But why can't they extend the same thing halfway?
It's a two-way street.
Correct,
actually.
right? Like why should it be like me all in and you halfway through when I'm investing so much money into making sure that your home is also coming out nicely. So that's when we changed our payment terms. And there were a lot of clients who didn't even want to go ahead with us after that. They said, hey, listen, we don't. And I said, that's okay.
It's like a filter.
Correct. Yeah, I'm okay. If you don't trust me at all in the start,
then
probably it's a good thing that you don't want to choose me. But I know that I want to finish your home. Only then I'll be happy with that money. So if my intention is clear, I think people who have similar intention will definitely reach out to us.
Right. So how do you deal with rejections and feedbacks?
Feedback is something I think I started to take early on. Also because we're so young, a lot of people sort of outrightly come and give us feedback with the good intention to make us grow.
Right.
They see that there is potential, but we're doing something obviously wrong at certain stages. And if we fix that, they can see because they've had enough experience.
Right.
And then now I've made it a practice. After every project, I talk to the client and take feedback from them. Earlier, it used to come organically from the clients, and trust me, most of the clients who have given us feedback, they've only given it in the best possible manner.
Right.
And that's also how I learned that that's how you need to give feedback.
Right.
That's how the other person can take that feedback and grow from it. And it doesn't feel like a complaint or like, something to be afraid of. So now that's a non-negotiable structure that we've included in our process of projects, wherein after the project we take. Now, we also realize after the project, if we take, it will only help the next client.
Right.
What about this client whose house we're doing? So now after every meeting, we ask all our designers to take feedback so that if there are small things that can be fixed now, we don't have to wait till the end of the project.
Right.
We can fix it now and then go forward. And that also gives the designers a sense of constant feedback, and not at the end of the year where it's one big
Yeah.
event of the day. So when you're constantly getting small feedback, it's very easy to work upon it and move forward. So I think everybody should, from the very beginning, start taking feedback.
Right.
There's something else you.
How do you deal with rejections? Like early on, is there a shift in how Ananya deals with rejection when she started off and now?
I think there were very few projects where we got rejected. So either it wouldn't click in the very initial discussion itself, and that's done, or it would go long enough where they do close. That is also because I wasn't pitching to hundreds of leads, and then when the numbers are more, then the rejection is also more.
Higher, yeah.
But that said, when I did get rejected with the sales part of it, again I have also asked them what is the reason, and sometimes the reasons are like so obvious, like either budget or this thing, and then we are not for everybody. We can't make or timeline, things that you can't compromise over, and that didn't feel like a loss. It just felt like we're not aligned at this point of time. But otherwise we've not had such rejections where we really wanted something and then we didn't get it. That's not happened so far, thankfully.
Great, let it be that way for you, I guess. Because you have grown very organically, right? At a stage where everybody is looking into tapping into all sort of demographics and using marketing and etc. Your growth has been pretty organic. And in this journey, you had friends, family helping you. But for a founder or somebody who's running a business, there would be a lonely phase for you, right? Where you've rarely shared with anybody the things that goes through in your head. Is there anything that you can add to this? What was your loneliest part and the rarest thing that you've shared anyone so far?
So I think if you're an entrepreneur, you have to marry another entrepreneur and then you'll never be lonely, because you'll always have some problem or the other that each other can relate to. And if I'm on 10% energy, the other person probably will be in 60% and they'll push me. Same goes vice versa. So at any point when I felt like I can't get out of this, my husband has always like sort of helped me out, not just in terms of emotional strength, in also sort of actually getting into with the team dynamics, talking to the team and understanding, because he's a third person, right? And the perspective is, for them it's a lot better. If I'm looking at something that's happening, I can give a better perspective from afar. And he has sort of intervened multiple times and helped us out. And I think that also, because he's a very extroverted person, and the way he can connect with people is a lot better than the way I can. And that has helped us from a lot of ruts that we were going through. And I think same goes both ways. So thankfully, the lonely phases have never been completely lonely. It is always two people.
Thanks to your husband.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So every architect, every designer has their own style, right? If today I walked into a space and I did not know that you were the architect behind it, what one essence of the design would speak, this is what Ananya made?
Subtle, minimal sort of luxury. When I say luxury, I know a lot of people instantly think about these very
extravagant designs.
But whenever I've looked at luxury, it's the light and the air and those elements making your space look better than it is. You might have like a huge bungalow with the nicest of interiors, but imagine you don't have windows and it's a dark and dingy home. It's still not going to have that impact that it's supposed to have. And when a lot of clients come to us, they do tell us that, how do I know that the kind of designs that you have on Instagram, how will that be there for me as a client if you're not designing it? And it's not possible for me to design, and I've not designed in the longest time now. So what my job as a founder is to guide all my designers to follow that design style. So I realized that now that of course, I'm not sitting in the client meetings with the clients, but before that, there's a lot of back end work that happens where we're talking to as a team, the designers are now pitching every design to everybody in the office,
right?
So that everybody gets to give an opinion, and that makes the design better. They all give their feedback, and it's just one feedback, one thing that could have been better,
right,
and one thing that was good, and that sort of helps them feel a lot of confidence in going forward, in even pitching to the client.
Right.
So one person ideally cannot take the
load,
and the price away, saying,
right,
hey, listen, I am the person who came up with this. It always is a team effort, but I as a founder have to always sort of guide them for the design style that we want, and
to maintain the essence. It's
absolutely,
it's a constant thing.
Correct. And space saving features now have become sort of our USP. One, because now we have our own factory to do a lot of R&D, to do trial and error and see if it works or doesn't work, which I think a lot of designers don't have the privilege, and not all carpenters and factories want to do so much trials. Second, because we see a lot of people have money, but the square footage cost is so high that they want to make most of whatever space they have.
Of course.
So this sort of helps in creating multifunctional spaces. Now it's not just one guest bedroom and one master bedroom. It is work from home office. It is play area for the kids. It's gym for the husband and wife. It needs to revolve around it. So space saving has really helped us to sort of create an impact in all of our projects.
So that's your unique
yes,
USP.
Yes.
That's your USP. Okay. So what has this business taught you about yourself so far?
So I started as a very patient, calm, timid, naive girl with my initial projects, and all my vendors used to think I cannot shout.
Okay.
So now I know I can shout. Now I've also learned that shouting won't get your work done. You have to figure out a balance of holding onto your emotions in a way that people do take you seriously without you raising your voice. There was a phase where I'd lost it and I would just shout every day. Nothing would happen.
Right.
Of course, my energy would get exerted, but no work would happen, because they're like, okay, you're shouting, we'll take longer than what we should have. So now I know that both are possible, but what works is when you can have some sort of a restraint and delegate, then work does get done. And as a person, I think that gave me a lot of insight as to how to manage people. I don't think you learn that in any course, anywhere, in any college, which you have to sort of learn. Even if you're an employee, I think people have to learn
to deal with people
management.
Because at the end of the day, you are working for and with people only.
Correct.
No matter how great your skills are, your sound, it's at the end of the day how visibly you deal with people is very important. Corporate world or in business.
True.
In business though, it's after a point of time, it's 80% dealing with people, 20% doing your actual technical work.
Correct.
Right? So what is one thing people who are watching this today can learn from you?
I think if I can do business, anybody can do business, because of the kind of character that I came with. Like I said, everything was against the
personality that you had.
Yeah, was completely against what is required to excel in
business.
Business. And with all of those, if it wasn't as hard as it was, so if that was doable, then I think for anybody, only the intent matters. And I think if you're consciously wanting to grow in life, whatever it is that you want to do in, I think sky's your limit.
Right. So how is your experience with Vaividya today?
I'm so glad that I found you, Aishwarya, because not just this, even before when we met, I think we spoke for a good 1.5,
Yeah.
2 hours. And it was just chatting with you about the problems that we face, and then
Yes.
it gave me a lot of insight from what you had learned.
Yeah.
And now that you're doing this with so many other business owners, I can only imagine the amount of experience wise knowledge that you're going to collect with this.
Yeah.
So I would love to chat with you after you're done with couple more
Of course,
podcasts
anytime.
to get more insight on how to fix a lot of these issues that I think I need to do trial and error, but you can just give me your input and it works. I'm really glad I met you.
I hope you enjoyed the conversation. I think it took you
Absolutely.
back. It was like a nostalgia, remembering everything that you started. And I think kudos to you, man. You started off very early and at such a young age. I get it, you had family support, etc. But it was your intentful decision to even take this journey willingly it's commendable. So I
Thank you.
really wish you all the best. I hope you
you so
scale to doing
much.
2000 plus projects.
Absolutely.
And I will definitely come to you when I'm building a house.
Definitely. Thank you so much. Lovely talking to you.
Thank you, Ananya. Thank you so much. Thank you for staying till the end of the episode. And I'd love for you guys to do 3 things. 1, follow me on Instagram and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Second, please share this with somebody who is curious to know their why and searching a deeper purpose. Third, please do leave comments on my channel to know if you need any particular founder or entrepreneur to come on my podcast. This will help me bring amazing guests to you with deeper insights and richer perspectives. So until the next one, stay curious, build boldly, and live with intention. See you on the next one.